The XRP army is glad to see you back on the channel. Thanks for all the love. I know you guys are definitely wondering about Crypto ZX. Do you ever sleep? Why are we going to sleep at these times? Guys, don't worry, go to sleep. People, I promise I get sleep, but let's see what's going on with XRP today. The XRP army is spread out, and I'm sure you can guess why I'm saying that. Today, a lot of different ETFs are going live. LTC and Solana are two of them. HBAR is one of them. Also, I know a lot of people are asking where this XRP ETF is. Take it easy. It's very good. It's very good. And just for HBAR and Litecoin, the dates are for them. For the record, I even said this in my HBAR update. I never thought that Litecoin and HBAR ETFs would be accepted before. XRP and Solana, I guess. That ETF was bought by Solana. XRP is still waiting for things to happen, but I think this will become the pattern. But before we go any further, I want to make it clear that nothing on this channel is meant to be taken as financial advice. As with any investment, you should always do your own study before putting money into crypto. One of the coins that's still up is XRP, which is up about 1.9% right now. It will work again, right? It's better than being in red, where most of the market has seen a small drop over the last 24 hours. The XRP price is still good. Think of the market as getting ready for, the ETF news on that one too. But look at it once a week, which is something that many people have already forgotten. XRP is going up by 10%. This is something else I don't want you to forget as you look at XRP. So the price is now $2.66, which is up about 2.1% in USD and 2.7% in Bitcoin. The value is getting close to $160 billion, and about $4.3 billion worth of trades happen every 24 hours. We should check out what's going on, though. Anyhow, let's get off track. Are you guys watching the MLB World Series? The Dodgers play the Blue Jays. Tell me who you think will win. I also stayed up late to watch that. Okay, tell me about your team. Now, let's see what's going on. So Bitcoin home screen. So there are no peak indicators, the flash mood is negative, and everything is clean. I totally agree with what Quentin said. On a technical level, we look for what are called peak indicators, right? When the cycles have been passed, we've seen peak signs flashing, which helps us understand better. What's up, buddy? The market is ending its bull run, but this time, everyone is scratching their heads because October 10th was the date of the biggest sale event. Oh, still, the price of Bitcoin is rising again above $114,000. It's back in the 2306 mark. Oh, also, none of these peak signs have lit up. Still, some people say that the market peak is here, but it's really just I can't help but wonder if this really is the beginning of a new power cycle. Once more, no one knows for sure. This is what I say in every post I make. Time will tell. From a historical point of view, yes, we should be ending. For me, the timeline is around 2025 or early next year, unless we hear something crazy. I know this is a repeat, but every time I think about interest rates, I feel like they are just beginning to be lowered by the government. And it was the exact opposite in earlier cycles. You should have seen interest rates go up, right? This meant that interest rates were going up. To say it again, 2026 will be a very interesting year to watch. I also think that this year will be very important because it will show us if the 4-year cycle is still there or not. Some analysts believe that it is no longer there, but the fact that institutions are paying so much attention to blockchain technology and digital assets makes me believe that's possible. Besides that, the government is also interested in crypto. This has never been there before, right? But this time it does. This is another example of how 2026 will be a very important year, as we've talked about on the show. But let's talk about the ETF numbers again in terms of money coming in. You all know that I love looking at that. From our point of view, it helps us understand what's going on better. Take a look. BlackRock has been buying a lot of ETH. Yesterday, they bought 17,440 Ethereum, which is worth about $73 million. I'm sorry about that. To sum up, they are buying ETH. That's really cool to see. But what's even more interesting is the S&P 500, which has been going through the roof, while Bitcoin and gold have been going down. Is this going to affect the S&P, the regular stock market, or cryptocurrency? But take a look at what Cointelegraph says. For the first time, the S&P 500 closed above 6,800. Once more, a new all-time high. Is Bitcoin the next thing? Does Bitcoin plan to do the same? The last 24 hours have been very interesting for Bitcoin. We were pretty close to 116,500. We need to look at this again very, very carefully. Okay, let's hear what Chad has to say. It is time for crypto ETFs. Remember that we talked about the time frame being sometime in October, and it looks like October was the month. There may not be a change for every coin, but things are beginning to happen. I can see that they will all be accepted and money from Wall Street will start coming in. That's what's so cool about these ETFs. But Eleanor says this, and this is where the story about the ETF conversation really got out. Check out what she says. The Canary funds have found that HBR and all Litecoin ETFs are now valid and will start trading on the Nasdaq tomorrow. Steven, the CEO, says that's a crazy thing to think about. Steven says that after Ethereum, Litecoin and HBAR will be the next two token ETFs to open for business. We're excited to take off tomorrow. I understand that this is hard for many, but please look at this. All of the above 8A applications for ETFs were approved by the New York Stock Exchange this morning. This is the last step before shares can start trading. But what about the government staff at the SEC who need to approve the S1 registration statements? This is the key. The issuers put wording in their amendment S1S that makes them take effect 20 days after they were filed. Usually, companies didn't send out the S1 second until the SEC made them official, but by law, the S1 goes into effect immediately, without any help from the SEC. That means the office doesn't have to approve them by hand, and the filings can go live even while the government is closed. Again, this is something we talked about when these issuers were first doing these revised S1 second. Oh, once more, very interesting. To make a long story short, these ETFs are ready to go, and all the legal requirements have been met. Really, really cool stuff. Take a look at this list of institutions that have started to use crypto. There are some of the biggest banks in the world, and you can see that they are putting all of their resources into crypto, ETPs, crypto trade, and custody services. It looks like most of them are starting their own trade and custody services. If you asked me a few years ago, this was once a dream for people who were early in crypto. Also, I'm not like an OG crypto pioneer. I wasn't there in 2010, nor was I there in 2011, even though, believe it or not, I knew what Bitcoin was in 2012. I've been in the space for 10 years, though. Like I said before, there's been a lot of progress when it comes to. You know about rules when it comes to adoption, right? We used to talk about these times, and they're happening now. The list of banks like Bank of America, BlackRock, BNY Mellon, and Charles Schwab that offer crypto trading and safekeeping goes on and on. Some of them even offer private crypto funds. Crypto ETPs using crypto to pay the tokenization list goes on, and this is just the beginning. Most of this stuff has happened this year, which is something that a lot of people forget, but let's move on and see what's going on. You know, broken to smoke is always for the Ripple plan to work. XRP needs to be more expensive. So if the native token XRP goes up in value, the answer goes up in value too because it makes the network more liquid. XRP can, show that it has more value than other currencies if it has a strong value. This has been written down again, but let's look at what's going on with the price. Based on the current price, this means that 59.75% of the market is controlled. As for Bitcoin, I think it looks good right now, sitting at $114,500. Even though Bitcoin looks good right now, I think the next 2 days could be rough. So that's something you should keep an eye on and be ready for because generally, the FOMC meeting before that has been choppy. I do expect that. There could be good news for the market on Thursday if there is good news from the meeting between China's president and the US president, which is something that everyone is looking forward to. Let's see what's going on with the price of XRP at the moment. The price of XRP is still less than our 270 cents price target. I told you guys,